Hey, this is Scott Photography Bonsai. In this video I'm going to talk about this odd little device. It's a Casio EX-FR10. This came out back in 2014. This specific unit I saw on Amazon randomly looking for different types of action cameras, and this is actually made in 2015. It was new old stock for $50. Looked interesting enough that I wanted to try it out. The odd thing about this camera is that it detaches from the commanding unit, and it uses Bluetooth to connect between the two devices. So you got the camera unit, and then you have the command unit that does all of the display, has a touch screen. Pretty interesting setup. It gives you a lot of options with filming. There's a button on the side that you press to detach with their custom connection setup. Comes with a lot of accessories which we can look at. When I was looking at the specifications for this device, it has a 14 megapixel 1/2.3 inch backlit sensor with a 21mm equivalent lens at f2.8. Given those specifications, it looked interesting enough to pick up, see how it is, really get a feel for having two different pieces of one camera, see how it works with connectivity, see how I can do different angles, different types of filming with that really odd setup. With video, this device pre-focuses, and then when you're recording video, it does not focus at all. It's kind of a positive and a negative at the same time. Really, the only indication that you've got focus on your face is that there's a little flower icon when you're recording video to signify that it's focused relatively close. Now, I did some monopod with the camera unit, really extended far, and I actually had it in the close focusing mode. I didn't realize all of that footage is basically a little blurred because I had it super extended on a monopod in video mode, and it was in that close focus. Really, the biggest benefit of this device is that extendability, the versatility of having the camera away from that command unit. I did test out to see how far I could get away from the camera device, still get a connection, still have a live view of what's happening with the camera on the command unit, and it's actually a very nice distance. In the future, I could really see that being very useful for doing unusual types of filming with this device, being able to set the camera up somewhere and move away from it a relatively good distance. Yeah, so the back area here makes a difference, but it is quick to really figure stuff out. So it's back in action. Let's do it again. So as long as I don't block the signal from the back of the unit, you can see that it is getting quite a bit further. Oh man, I don't know if it was working. It looked still frame, and it's recording a video. Oh, there we go. Now the actual camera unit comes apart from this ring. This is the small size of the actual camera. It has Bluetooth in here, it has a battery, it has the micro SD card, and a USB connection. Nice thing about these devices is that you can power them through USB and also charge. Now if you're trying to power just the camera unit, you can't charge at the same time, but you can use it with full USB power, which is good because the internal battery in this one is not super amazing. Now I've gone on 3 different outings with this, and the camera has gone down to maybe 1/3 of the power left on the first outing. Last outing, it actually had 2/3 of the power still in there as far as I could tell. The only negative with USB power is that you lose water resistance because the port covers are open. Biggest issue of this device, if you want to try to use it for photos, it's just going to decide where it wants to focus. At the very least, this camera will show you where it's focusing if you cycle the display modes, and it'll give you little boxes to show you, okay, it's focusing in this area, you're good enough to take a photo at that point, but that's a huge limitation of this device for photography. It has a time-lapse feature, and you can also record video plus time-lapse photos at the same time. I did try that out. It worked relatively well, but there's some issues with white balance. I don't know if setting it to one of the custom white balances would fix that. I didn't try it out, but when you use auto white balance, it will potentially give you some really odd looking photos. You can connect the camera directly to a phone. It worked very nicely. It uses the Wi-Fi instead of the Bluetooth. There are a few Casio apps on the App Store for the Android phones, and I wasn't really sure which one, but I found it was the EX-FR10 Link app. Last update was 2015, so it won't be getting any updates for sure, but it worked just fine on my LG Stylo 3 phone. Vlogging wise, I think it works relatively decently with the video side, but it does do the auto exposure, of course. There's nothing you can do about that, and there is no focusing once you've got it set and it's recording. With the audio side, it sounds alright in some situations, but it does easily peak, and of course you can't adjust levels on the audio.
There really isn't much in the way of adjustment. I did see something for the exposure compensation, but you have to go into the menu to actually do anything with it, so that makes it not super useful. Like I said, I only have a few minutes. I do have the fingerless gloves today. I have another pair that I could cover my hands with. It isn't too cold, so I think it'll work out nicely. Got this X-Slim Casio device going. Let me pop my action camera on.
I did do a video test with the action camera and this device on one setup, so they're very close to each other. You can basically get the same perspective. You can see the differences between the 2 focal lengths with the action camera and this device. See how the stabilization works. It is an interesting device. I'm definitely going to try to get some use out of it for my video work. The biggest drawbacks are configurability, settings. There's very limited settings. Can't even select the autofocus point. You can get some really interesting angles and still frame it properly with the command unit, but then image quality wise and video quality wise, not super great. it is fun to mess around with if you want something super odd and versatile yet limited. So that was the Casio EX-FR10. Hope you found this video interesting. Scott from Starfy Bonsai. If you did find this video interesting, please consider subscribing. Helps me out a lot. Likes and shares about a lot as well. Thanks again.